Now, a number of people have been arrested after a Black Lives Matter protest blocked access into Heathrow Airport. Protesters spread banners across the M4 motorway and lay down in the road at the entrance to the hub. One lane has now reopened on the M4. Traffic is said to be moving slowly. A Heathrow spokesman has apologised for the delays. Protests have also taken place in Birmingham and in Nottingham. Well, on the line now is Wail Quasim. He's one of the organisers of the protest at Heathrow and also a spokesperson for Black Lives Matter UK. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
What's the point of this protest?
So we've had an epidemic in this country where more than 1,563 people have died in police custody, and black people are more than double the representation in that figure. People are dying in police custody every 6 days. And so, like we've seen in the US, the Black Lives Matter movement highlighting that there's this great injustice, we're wanting to highlight this happens here too. It's happened to Sean Rigg, it's happened to Leon Patterson, it's happened to Sarah Reeve, and there's been no justice for any of these cases. And that's what we're here protesting about.
Why does disrupting people's travel plans to and from Heathrow help that cause?
I mean, I think there's 2 points to make. So firstly, that there's a constant disruption of black people's lives in the everyday. The kind of everyday forms of racism you face in terms of stop and search, increased levels of unemployment, overrepresentation within mental health custody, the prison system. This is an ongoing disruption to black people's lives that they constantly face. And then there's also the fact that for a lot of people, this has been a long, hard struggle. So Stephanie Lightfoot Bennett, who's one of the co-founders of an organisation called United Families and Friends Campaign, has been campaigning for her brother Leon Patterson for over 20 years. This is an ongoing case, and she's had little in the way of any sort of accountability. So that's a disruption that's happened to her lives, and it's happened to the lives of so many other families who have been affected by the issue of death in custody. And I guess one other point to make is that Heathrow Airport is the site of two deportation centres that we have in this country. So you have Colnbrook and Harmondsworth really close by, and you have the death of Jimmy Mbenga, who was being deported on a British Airways flight a few years ago and died whilst being detained by G4S guards. The issue of Black Lives is live at Heathrow too.
Can I bring you back to the question I posed? And there was a reason for posing it, and people might agree with your cause, they might disagree with your cause, but if you're going to get support from the wider population, disrupting their travel plans to the main airport of the country is not going to achieve that, is it?
We've had very little support for decades now. People have been going on marches, people have been petitioning various organisations and institutions and seeking justice for decades. I told you about Leon Patterson and his sister, but there are cases that go back just as far, if not further. You have the case of Joy Gardner, you have the case of Cherry Grove.
But the point I'm making on this one is that I again accept what you're saying about your cause, and you say that you haven't had a great deal of support thus far. You won't get any more if you continue to stage these kinds of disruptive events, will you?
Well, I question that too, because we've seen Black Lives Matter is a huge movement in the US. It sparked a national debate. Black Lives Matter is featuring in President Obama's town halls, and they've done that through the exact same method. The shutdown tactic has been employed in the United States, where they've shut down malls, they've shut down motorways. So I don't think that's quite true. The tactic goes back to the civil rights movement, and it does get people's attention because a lot of people are allowed to go about their daily lives without realising that this injustice exists, and it's happened for so long.
Okay, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. Wail Quasim is one of the organisers of those protests, spokesperson for Black Lives Matter UK.